Welcome to EPG Pathshala. My name is Dr. Poonam Gulalia. I'm faculty with the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. The paper that is being discussed is titled Fieldwork and Field Supervision. The module that I will be discussing with you now is titled Student Support and Progression. Learning outcome of this module is as follows. This module will help you as a student learner gain an understanding of the nature and scope of student support provided to you in the field and the progression that you are likely to make in your field work. Also will be discussed are the key issues, concerns and challenges which are involved in this process. To begin with, it needs to be stated that field work as a learning by doing program holds a special place and value in social work education. It goes with an understanding that it is used in certain specific situations to help students not only gather facts and obtain knowledge, but also learn skills and concepts. More often than not, all of them need to be in synchronization with each other. Essentially, fieldwork demands for an effective role of each stakeholder, that is the enablers, supporters and facilitators, unlike a traditional stated role, require that supervisors be proactive and go along with the student in his or her learning. Fieldwork helps shape education of the student and endures their development as a democratic citizen. What does student progression mean? Student progression with reference to the field looks at the growth of the student in one's interpersonal skills, core practice skills and the competencies which the students has been able to gain at the time of and in the course of field placement. There are multiple ways to assess students' interpersonal and practice skills. By and large, the methods which are used to assess students' progression in the field are recordings, individual conferences, observations made by students in the field, and finally, the end of the year evaluation. Students' support and progression can be seen and assessed by the following criteria. 1. How does the student communicate in the field, both verbally and otherwise, with co-workers, clients, field contacts, agency staff, community leaders and other people that he or she interacts with. Secondly, when engaging in direct work with people, what practice methods is used by the student and what is his or her understanding of the practice method used. Next, when engaging with clients or client populations, does the student have the ability or does the student take the initiative in finding out what the problem is, working with the client on his or her problem and enabling the agency or the placement setting in their work profile. Further, the students' recording skills are also assessed on a weekly basis and as a cumulative exercise towards the close of the first semester as well as towards the close of the second semester. Besides engaging with people in the field, it is extremely essential for a supervisor to assess how the student deals with power equations and power dynamics in the field and what is his understanding of oppressive practice and the marginalized population. Last but not the least, what is the self-awareness of the student and how does he or she maintain and sustain professional boundaries? Coming to the first aspect, communication. In assessing a student's progress in field placement, it is important to understand the aspect of direct communication between a student and the beneficiaries. It is expected that the student will take into account both the effect of social work intervention upon oppressed, marginalized, vulnerable groups and communities, as well as with regard to the issues connected with language and communication. The learning objectives for the student with reference to this relate, as mentioned before: 1. Demonstration of awareness of skills involved in verbal and non-verbal communication. 2. Demonstration of active listening skills, including the ability to paraphrase what has been said to him or her by the client, checking for an understanding with the client and conveying appropriate empathy. 3rd, demonstrating skills in adapting one's own communication style to suit a range of situations and a range of problems. 4th, demonstrating skills in collecting information and also imparting information to agency staff and to client groups. Last but not the least, demonstrating an ability to cope with and to respond to a wide range of attitudes and behaviors, example, distress, frustration expressed by the client, or hostility expressed by the client in a situation. When discussing direct work with people, a student's progress is assessed on the basis of his understanding of the capacity to work with people and to understand who uses the services of the particular organization, why and how are referrals made to other agencies or organizations, and what does it entail for the particular beneficiary. In this case, the student needs to develop skills in each of the following areas. 1. To understand how and why some people become clients. 2. To demonstrate an ability to identify possible strengths and resources with reference to the clients. 3. Demonstrating an awareness of the problem at hand and what could be the possible methods of intervention to help address this problem. 4. Begin to empathize with the beneficiaries. 5. Prepare for initial contacts or commencement of planned work to address the problem. And last, be clear about what the student oneself can offer, bearing in mind one's own limited knowledge, skills, length of understanding the problem, length of the placement in the particular fieldwork agency as well. Social work, it needs to be understood, adopts a variety of approaches, and a student needs an extremely sound knowledge of theories and concepts to be able to undertake practice in the field. A student would need to be introduced to a practice method for them to understand which practice methods are appropriate in which situation. Depending on a situation, whether it is an institutional setting, an open community setting, a setting where prisoners are housed, or another setting which is an aftercare home for children, all these would require different practice methods to be operationalized. There is a choice concerning the practice method, which is learned depending on the student's own interest, the client situation or the situation of the client population, if it is a group situation, as well as the agency which is catering to the client. A student's progression, therefore, will be assessed in terms of the following. 1. Students' understanding of a social work method. 2. Students' understanding of the objective with which that practice method is being used. 3. Students' understanding of the theories and the value systems which inform practice. 4. Students' ability to make use of working relationships in the field and to sustain these relationships with people in an anti-oppressive manner. 5th, does the student observe practitioners, paraprofessionals and supervisors using these practice methods which are appropriate in the given circumstances? And last, does the student begin to integrate the different methods of working with people which he or she has learnt in the classroom? Having given you a basic idea, one needs to come to the fact that it is in the process of working with clients that students are able to determine the nature of the problem. The following skills then would be required to be learnt by the students. 1. To share with the client facts and interventions only which are relevant to the problem which is at hand. 2. The student needs to be realistic about what the student can offer as a student learner, as well as what the agency can offer given the mandate and the vision of the agency. 3. The student needs to allow time for trust to develop between a student and the client. 4. The student needs to work at the client's pace and with sensitivity to cultural norms. 5th, one should question potential biases which may arise in one's own responses to given populations or client groups or to given situations. Next, one would need to negotiate with all concerned stakeholders and formulate appropriate plans of action. And lastly, is the student able and willing to listen to and act as an advocate for the marginalized beyond the mandate of the agency where he or she is placed? Working on the client's problem requires that an initial assessment phase be undertaken. The student would need to give attention to the client's problem and ways of addressing this problem, which could be more than one. It requires the student to play a multiplicity of roles, maybe that of an advocate, a facilitator, a listener, a counselor, or a social worker, and develop a range of skills to play these multiplicity of roles. The first skill in this regard is that of developing and maintaining effective relationships. The second is that of observing, listening, interacting, assessing, appropriate planning, undertaking focused intervention, recording these processes and re-evaluating if necessary whether the skills which have been utilized in the given situation have been appropriately utilized. Skills in structuring individual sessions with clients are equally important, and these include individual interviews, intakes, group work activities, or counseling, or a combination of these. Managing the work at the agency or at the placement is another essential component which is assessed for student progression. Student progression in this regard relates to time management and focusing on clear priorities at the agency setting. It also involves developing advocacy skills and a critical understanding of the policy of the agency, the system of accountability which the organization follows, the management structures, the hierarchy, as well as the use of discretionary power if required. The student would need to develop the ability to work effectively as part of a team with other professionals and community groups, as many organizations work in adopted communities. Students' understanding would then be assessed by the following criteria. 1. Understanding the agency's systems of accountability. 2. Understanding the systems of work allocation to different employees, field contacts, and other staff. 3. Developing skills in identifying resources for and on behalf of the agency, as well as mobilizing resources for community work. 4. Identifying whether the agency is meeting or failing to provide appropriate services to their own clients and beneficiaries. Next, evaluating the delivery of service within an anti-oppressive framework, and as mentioned earlier, recognizing and administering advocacy and building the advocacy skills and using them effectively and in an appropriate manner. Coming to the importance of recording skills, sometimes students underestimate the importance of these skills. But the fact is that the evaluation and student progression, recording skills play an extremely important role. The use of social work records is not only important for the agency where you are placed for field work, also for documenting the client's own concerns, for documenting the trajectory of movement of the client's problem from initial stage to termination stage, but is also an extremely learning tool for the student in his or her interaction with his supervisor. The student could be required to meet the following objectives in this regard. 1. Understand the purpose of maintenance of agency records and how they are maintained. 2. Being able to write clear and concise records on a daily basis. 3. Being able to differentiate the facts which are made available from clients and the opinions which are formed in these records. 4. Developing skills required for day-to-day cooperation and mutual support among staff members and clients. Next, being able to identify team goals in the agency, the social values which are important for them, and the conflicts which are likely to arise as a result of teamwork. The student should also be able to develop skills in participating in a constructive and meaningful way in staff meetings and staff activities. Finally, the student would need to develop skills to analyze one's own role in the team of the agency. Social work practice recognizes oppression not only in terms of behavior of the people and the attitudes of individuals and groups, but also in terms of its presence in structures, systems, and institutions. If a student needs to grow as a professional, he or she is required to demonstrate a willingness to analyze power issues, power dynamics at all stages of the field placement in the course of the year. It would require students to develop skills in challenging agency perspective if required, and if these appear to be in contradiction with or in conflict with the interest of any particular client group or community that the agency is working with. The student would also need to develop skills in identifying and addressing oppressive behaviors in oneself and others. By developing the skills to listen to other people's experiences of oppression and discrimination, the student would be playing an equally important role. He or she would be required to devise working methods which attempt to counter discrimination at an individual level or a collective level, and demonstrate the ability to examine power structures and to act as an advocate for the same if required. All these spaces are spaces for student support and progression. Last but not the least, one needs to appreciate students' ability to explore and understand the importance of maintaining professional boundaries, which include exploring the difference between formal and informal relationships and exercising professional authority only when necessary. Demonstrating ability to utilize different styles of making relationships work by recognizing cultural considerations is equally important. Major indicators to assess the progression of students include ability to analyze social situations, individual needs and resources, and skills in defining problems, case planning, and evaluation. It also includes the ability to conceptualize and integrate theory and apply it appropriately in practice situations. It is the extent of openness to learning and acceptance of constructive criticism which enables a student to grow professionally. There needs to be overall consistency of progress in fieldwork performance throughout the year. Recording as a learning and teaching tool serves as one of the methods in assessing a student's progress. Assessment and students' progression therefore go on an ongoing basis, and the student field supervisor and faculty are in consultation with each other to assess a student's progress in the course of the year. Giving and receiving feedback regularly in relation to the field education experience of a student enables a student in this regard. There are certain agencies which provide limited exposure to students for field work and do not always have a holistic, critical or reflective perspective. It is here that the supervisor and faculty advisor's role become extremely important in enabling a student to provide holistic learning opportunities. Community-based fieldwork also requires a student to have commitment, innovativeness, creativity and a proper perspective, which needs to be promoted by all departments and schools of social work. Since there are a range of supervisors which are made available to students, there are spaces where student may benefit from an agency supervisor, someone who may benefit more from having an institute supervisor. But the fact remains that it is the experiences which the supervisors bring to this space that is actually useful. It may be time consuming for a supervisor to escort, accompany and handhold the student on a daily basis in the field. But the fact remains that it is with the guidance of the supervisor that the student's overall learning and progression comes to fruition. Coming to the nitty-gritty of how a student can be supported in the field, it is essential to state that the supervisor would need to arrange with the student at the initial stage a visit to the community and the agency and discuss the needs of the community members if it is a community setting, and also to engage with a wide range of local leaders, subgroups and local people. This would provide the student with all the relevant documents made available at the organization, and the student should have access to all staff members of the organization so that he or she can learn from the different perspectives of the agency members. This is equally relevant when working in a community where a student needs to network with relevant community group members besides community leaders. The student needs to be actively encouraged to explore conflicts, contradictions or dilemmas which are inherent in any agency setting. By preparing video recorded tapes or flip charts and identifying other resources, a supervisor can enhance a student's knowledge and enable him or her to understand how he or she comes across to the community members through the video recording. By providing material and opportunity for discussion, again, a supervisor enables the student to explore one's own attitudes, beliefs, prejudices and stereotypes if any. The field contacts and paraprofessionals, besides clients, also provide feedback from time to time to the student and the supervisor so that the former can learn from the feedback provided. Giving feedback to students about personal qualities and helping the student to choose a particular area of improvement is extremely helpful in incremental learning. By helping the student to rehearse the areas through a video or through a role play is also some of the means adopted by supervisors. The use of a time diary to enable a student to see how they have prioritized their work and sequenced their work is another learning space. Student support and progression is also made available by asking students to think through issues in a group setting and also to discuss with the student his or her own written work and field work recordings which illustrate and reflect on the fieldwork experiences in the field. By observing directly or indirectly a piece of the student's practice work in the field and providing feedback on verbal, non-verbal, language and communication facilitates the student learner and provides opportunity to the student to rehearse and practice an essential skill for practice work. Preparing the student to undertake these as ground rules need to be established that the students, when conducting sessions, can also be observed and feedback can be provided by the supervisor and the target groups. In order to summarize, one needs to say that facilitators serve as teachers and agency personnel serve as mentors. It is for the student learner to make full use of these opportunities which are provided for one's own progression in the field. All supervisors are trained and experienced to support and guide the students throughout their field work and also undertake individual meetings, group conferences and peer learning exercises to enable students to have an enriching fieldwork experience. Students' progression is looked at in terms of their growth in their interpersonal skills, core practice skills and the competencies which they have gained through practice. Evaluation of their recordings through individual conferences, student seminars and group meetings in the field and in the Department of Social Work help this process. I do hope that this module has been useful to you and that you have understood what has been explained to you. I would request you to read the e-text and the references which follow. I look forward to you having a further discussion with you in this regard. Thank you very much.